Hi, my name is Virginia Gonzalez. I'm a very ambitious person who just loves to help others. I love reading and playing softball. I do not have many experiences due to just graduating high school, but while I was in high school, I worked at a clothing store as a fashion consultant. And after graduating high school, I began working at the high school I graduated from as the new school clerk. A time I worked well in a team was my senior project for my physics class. We had a work as a team, so each class would have to build a roller coaster made out of paper, and this roller coaster had to be effective enough to have a marble start from the top and reach its destination all the way through the bottom. The roller coaster was going to be only made out of paper. So we had to work with that and see what ways we can work together to come up with a new idea because a marble was going to have to go down this roller coaster. At first, we folded a paper in three to have a base and two walls to kind of direct the marble. So, for example, it has this little base and these two sides to direct something that will go through. That wasn't effective enough at first because it was only one sheet of paper and the marble was too heavy for it. So what we did was grabbed a regular piece of paper and a construction paper and put that under it and did the same thing. And it had the base and the two walls to direct the marble where to go. So we had a competition between our class and all the other physics class in our high school, and in the end my classroom was the most effective, had the most effective roller coaster, and in reward we received free ice cream. A time I had too many things to do and had to prioritize my task was, I would say, when our third term ended, because we had report cards. Report cards. I had to pick up bus passes for our students, and I also had to send out test result sheets back from the student start testing. So there was about 520 each, so 520 report cards and 520 results sheets to pass out. And I also had to make phone calls to parents to remind them about an orientation they had to attend to in order for their son or daughter to start that following Monday. So the way I prioritized this was, firstly, call all the parents. That way their student could for sure start that following Monday. Then I went to go pick up the bus passes before their office closed. I'm really in touch with our mailman, and I had his phone number, so I gave him a call and asked him if he can maybe pass by our school at the end of the school day. That way I know I had enough time to get everything that I needed done. He agreed, and he said that was fine. So then once I got back into the office from getting the bus passes, I began folding the report cards. While I was doing that, a student came in and he owed community service hours. So then I had him help me do the test results, fold the test results and send those off as well. So I did 520 and he did 520. We ended up finishing all of this by 4:30. Just like as soon as the mailman got there, we were done. He waited and we got everything out. Yeah, so we mailed everything out on time. That was the way I prioritized my task. A time I had to go above and beyond the call of duty, and how did I handle this situation? So for this one, I had already clocked out of work to go to school, and there was a new employee who's gonna cover my area once I left, which is in the front office. As soon as I was clocking out and getting my things ready, she was already logging into the computer, and an angry parent walked into the office, and she began yelling and cursing and just going really crazy. She was mad and started yelling at the new employee that why was her son withdrawn. We didn't know the answer to this because a student is given an advisor, and that advisor makes that decision whether to withdraw them or not, but they didn't let us know in that situation why he had got withdrawn. So the new employee started panicking because she didn't know what to do. We didn't know the answer to why he was withdrawn, and this parent just kept yelling and yelling and cursing, wanting an answer. So I ended up putting all my things down. I calmly asked the lady if she wanted to step inside, have some coffee, until I resolved what was happening or why the student had got withdrawn. She was still kind of angry, but she agreed. She walked into the office and she sat there, got her coffee. I began emailing the advisor, trying to get an answer from the assistant principal. And the reason we didn't get a for sure answer real quick was because the advisor was out for that day. So I called her two cell phones, her work phone and her personal phone, trying to find an answer to why this student was withdrawn. So about an hour later, I finally get an answer. Turns out the mom was dropping off her son, I think it was like a block or two away from the school, so she wouldn't have all that traffic right there by our area, and the student wasn't entering the building. So that's why he was withdrawn, because of all the frequently absences that were unexcused. I explained that to the mom, and she calmed down, and she realized that she was kind of at fault for yelling at us and going. I know she just wanted her answer to why her son was withdrawn, but she was kind of getting really upset at us when it wasn't our fault that he was withdrawn. So she apologized to me and the new employee, and she walked out of the building calmly. So that's how I resolved that. A time I worked effectively under pressure. So this day we had our January our January graduation, and everybody was out of the front office and everybody was gone. The principal was already at the ceremony. The other clerk, she was out. Her and her daughter were both out. And the night school advisor, he was busy handling his night school students. So it was only me in the front office. And dealing with that, it was phone constantly ringing, people coming in wanting to turn in documents for an application to enroll, and then I had parents coming into the front office asking how to enroll. So I had so many things going on at once, and then the phone just kept ringing and ringing and ringing. So I had to kind of do everything calmly, answer the phones, and I would help people who were coming to the front window, and I'd ask them if they could hold on for a second as soon as I pick up the phone, handle what was going on, hang up, and then get back to them. I decided to do one thing at a time. That way I wouldn't feel so under pressure and having the phone in my ear and talking to the person in front of me. So I'm glad that every person who came in front of me to ask questions, they waited patiently until I was done with the phone. Give me an example of a time you showed initiative. So a time I showed initiative was about 3 months ago. There was an employee who was going to withdraw a student because the student had slammed the door in her face. So when she said that the student slammed the door in her face in front of her office, I started looking at the cameras to kind of see if it was true or not. I ended up seeing in the camera that the student never slammed the door in her face, but rather walked away from her. And this student was on the line to get withdrawn because the advisor said that the student slammed the door in her face. So with that evidence that I found on the cameras, so what I did, I grabbed the assistant principal and the principal, asked them if they could meet in my office, and so they could see this video and not withdraw a student who never did anything. They agreed, and they came into my office. They saw the video. The student they saw that the student never did anything, so the student stayed in the school, and nothing was held against him because he never slammed the door in the advisor's face. So why was he going to be withdrawn? In the end, the principal thanked me because that student's education was on the line. He was about to be withdrawn for something he didn't do. So the principal, and the student in the end thanked me because I took my time, went and go look at the cameras and see that he was never at fault for anything. And that's the time I took initiative. Thank you.